You remember the doorway we came through? It was through there. Whatever. It's clear by now that you should know I don't know how to start videos. Like, at all. Like, ever. So I'm just going to start saying that this is the chapter. This is the chapter I've been whining and crying about the whole game. Up to this point. This is the chapter that has you go up against a mini-boss.
How many have you killed, Reuben?
Reuben? Does he mean Ruvik?
Numbers are irrelevant. They received as they themselves gave, and they served a higher purpose. They furthered my research.
This was not mere research. The things the papers say were done to those people, those traps.
These vermin, these microbes, they're mine to do with as I please. But you are correct. This was not mere research. I'm close to perfection.
This is abhorrent.
This is my will.
His will. Alright. The chapter. The big baby baddie chapter. Where you fight up against a mini-boss. Then a few moments later, two of that same mini-boss. Running away from Spider Lady. Using up ammo, as you do. And then, boss fight.
My head. Who is that guy next door?
Sure what was going to be said there or not. Okay. Just, sorry, taking a small second to get a little bit of material up for a little later. As you can see, I'm trying to keep up with fast-forwarding these. I will say again, and I will continue to say this at the beginning of every chapter, my computer has a bit of trouble running this game, unless my fan is cranked up to obnoxious levels, so I crank it up, crank up the details of the game as much as I can, and then I just record it, then later, edit it, render it out, and commentate over the rendered video, which is what I'm doing at this very moment. And I like to take these sections and speed them up because I would like for you to see what I do, but at the same time, you don't need to see it at full speed because it's boring. Plus, fast forward is fun.
Do you have any idea why this world is the way it is?
What? Who are you?
Hate. Hate. Ruvik's hate. The man's consumed by it. He wants out! Wants to get his revenge! He wants back what he feels the world took from him. It's not like he could actually get that. It's not like he could actually get that. This world exists as long as he does.
You heard something just now?
Spooky lady. Oh, this chapter is my most loathed chapter of the whole game. My first playthrough of it, I was completely decimated to the point of, I believe, I'm not entirely sure, I had a little pause there for a second, don't worry about it. I believe, I'm not entirely sure, that I had to step away from the game. Now, the only times I step away from the game is like in between chapters, because it feels weird to not. It feels like you're coming back in the middle of a movie, sorta, even though that's what every chapter in between feels like anyways. I don't like to save and then leave in the middle of a chapter, so I obviously play through it and whatnot. But that had some incredibly frustrating parts. So frustrating, so upsetting to me that I had to step away. I consider myself a fairly smart fella. Which is why in this video, I actually, in this chapter, I used a couple medkits, since I have 4 of them. And I could use the extra health. This, you want to be very careful to not activate this trap, because it will close off that room. And you want to get into that room, not because there's a key, but, of course, but because there's some sweet loot. Look at that, just off the bat, a couple shotgun shells, several boxes, goo, whatnot. But, yeah, there's parts in this chapter that I didn't look up. My first playthrough, I didn't really look up a guide for anything except for, like, the keys and collectibles, maybe. Just because I would have an almost impossible time finding those by myself. And if I got them, if I didn't get them, my experience would be completely hindered because I would be so under-equipped and under-leveled, so to say, for some stuff that happens. So I decided to just go ahead. You can't go in that room. Or the one right across. You can only go forward into your doom. So I didn't really know what to do with the boss fights and the special section later, because I didn't really look it up. The second playthrough, which is the one I play a chapter ahead on my New Game Plus, so I can relearn the chapter, so I don't die super horribly in it. For this playthrough, which is the third technically, it doesn't matter for this chapter. I've died, I believe, 5 times in this chapter. You want to know why? A good reason why I died in this chapter? Oh, excuse me. 3 times alone I died from this thing. Instant kill, doesn't matter. And one of those times, I will admit, is my own stupidity. The other 2 times, kind of the game's stupidity. Really. It is aggravating to play a game that people hyped up saying it's new survival horror, it's going back to the roots of Resident Evil and whatnot. If I recall my Resident Evil, I don't remember there being a lot of insta-kill enemies and weapons and areas in the game. There might have been a couple. I remember if you were low on health, this may have been with the remake on GameCube, but if you were low on health, then I did not mean that. If you were low on health, as in the red, holding yourself, oh, I really need to get some health, then a hunter could insta-kill you then, not when you had full health. In this game, things can kill you with full health super easily and often. Especially that damn thing. You cannot turn that off, and you cannot prevent it from being activated. You can only try to get away from it. So, instead of using all my syringes, there's no downside to just pumping syringes in you. You can do that and you'll be fine. But I have 4 medkits, so I'm going to use a couple. It boosts my maximum health up some, which is always handy, and it fully heals me. But there's these sniper guys. There's only 2 sniper guys in this little section. They're not that annoying, but they're kind of annoying, but you can easily get rid of them, like, super easily. Like, just a quick boom shot to them, and they're gone. But you'll see a couple deaths. Damn merry-go-round of death and horror. Is there a body in one of those? Blocking my shots. I get so paranoid when I record. I hear noises everywhere. I always... You need to... Don't shoot immediately as it gets up, because you'll get your shot blocked. You have a second-ish after he gets up before you can shoot. And there's bullets there, because the game knows, like, yeah, maybe you're going to do that. So let's get all trippy. Yeah. Max out my health. So great. I completely shocked when I found I had, maxed out my health a little. I think 10 points. It probably maxes out as much as a health upgrade does at the store. But I'm not entirely sure what could happen. unless there's a cap, which there probably is, you could probably upgrade yourself and keep playing through the game multiple times to get your health up till it just completes a full loop. Although I'd imagine it'd cap out before then. You imagine that though? Even with complete circle of health, fully healed, there's things that can still insta-kill you in this game. And it's so annoying. Like, if they just made it to where they only hit you a little and do a little damage to you, and then if you're at like a third of your health or less, then you can die from an insta-kill, fine. You know, whatever. I just keep myself up tip-top shape and learn to get good, if you will. But no, instead they just have it to where you will just die lots of times because cheap things, and if you don't know how to do something perfectly right, you're dead. So I gotta pause here waiting for them to complete their rotations. I probably could have went there, but I didn't want to risk it, because there's a big guy who takes more damage than usual, and a mask dude who, of course, the mask acts as a defense. So that's not fun, and you could totally, perfectly stealth both these guys, which is awesome. And spoiler alert, it's super awesome that you can still stealth guys at this point in the game. Because after this point in the game slowly, for like a chapter or two, turns into not how the game was. Like, gotta be careful with that beeping. It turns less into, I gotta be careful, stealth some guys if I can, and then I guess I have to blow away these other guys because I alerted them. The game turns less into that, and more of just, oh, here's a cage of dudes and they're funneling out at me and I need to kill them because that's the way I can progress. That's the only way I can progress. Or, I'm on this little gondola thing and it's going along the way and there's enemies along the way. Just like in that one part on Resident Evil 4, by the way. That gondola, it's actually kind of just like that. Only you're not going down a slope. You're just going across a little way. You'll see that in a future chapter. It's annoying. Oh. Now this thing looks like a gravity gun. I'm not quite sure what they were thinking, but that looks just like a gravity gun to me. And now, painful memories of doing this. There is a sniper over here. There's only these two snipers in the whole level. The rest of the level completely changes feel and tone and whatnot, sort of, in gameplay. There's this sniper guy over there. Yep. I want to get rid of him before... Yeah. When he crouches down, his head pops up slightly above the rail, and you could headshot him there, but I'd wait for him to stand up at least. Because I don't want to risk missing. Because you don't get a lot of ammo in this game. It's not like Resident Evil 4. If this game just had the... I'm just gonna fail. Oh, okay. Just burn him. It's easy. If this game just had the option of, like, New Game Plus, I want to crank up the ammo. Like Silent Hill 2 had it. Silent Hill 2 is great. Everyone loves it. I love it. And I've seen, like, 7 LPs of it. They have where you, like, oh, you just crank up, you can get, like, 10 times the ammo as usual. Awesome. So, the guy with the mask over here, and the other guy, everyone but the very first one knows the blade and will not attack you, or not stand up. So, begin the montage. If they hit you, if they grab you, if they look at you wrong and you stand up because of that, you cannot, unless, like, the blade's halfway clipping out of your head going back around, you cannot get past it. Because, oh, deuce-a-doo. Because you cannot, because of animation-wise, you cannot crouch down fast enough. That's completely my fault. When you go to get goo, you stand up a second. That one is all on me. But this is messed up. Yeah. He grabbed me just as the thing was coming around. That was cool. That's fun to watch. But you can wait on... You could jump across one of the little hurdles, wait for a guy to jump and hopefully get knocked. We could hit him with a bottle, he'll stand up going, oh, I got hit. And then boom, decapitation. So for the moment we grab the gravity gun to shoot sniping the guy to this part, I had played through that like 4 times alone. Because of a cheap... It's not even like a difficulty thing. It's just the animation and movement of the character plays a certain way and plays a certain length-wise. You could probably snipe that guy if you wanted to. Goes for a certain amount of time in a certain way that you, unless you get like pixel perfect right after it swings by and it happens, you won't be able to get back down in time. I mean, maybe I'm full of it, maybe you have plenty of time for it, but I've never had time for it. Every time, every moment, always decapitation. And it is not fun to play on easy difficulty on a game and have it be incredibly hard just because there's a lot of insta-kill things. I would have loved, like... This is why, like, Resident Evil doesn't have, like... Classic Resident Evil don't really have difficulty levels. Because what would change on them, right? Like, the enemies take more bullets. Like, from what I remember, Resident Evil 3's difficulty, easy mode, whatever, normal mode. Normal and hard mode, you start off with your basic gear. Hard mode probably be like, I don't remember hard mode. I know easy mode, it just gives you a couple weapons to start with. That's it. But I think maybe things are a little easier. But normally, the enemies just don't take more damage. They don't deal more damage, from what I recall. And that's like Resident Evil 4. No difficulty levels. None at all. Well, never mind. I'm actually completely lying about that. I'm sorry. I don't know why. I just thought they did. But it's annoying. Couldn't kick the boxes because of this guy. So yeah, Resident Evil 4 again. Going back to Resident Evil 4, the golden game. I'm looked on the wiki, and a lot of the enemies and whatnot are inspired by enemies from Resident Evil 4. So this game's basically a spiritual successor to Resident Evil 4. Only it's like your son who you're disappointed in. Who you realize you could have done so much better. You only half-assed your life. You could have been way more than that. I'm disappointed in you, son. That's kind of what I feel with this game. Because in Resident Evil 4, the higher difficulties, alright, the enemies do more damage. Fine. They take a little more damage. Okay. You still got plenty enough ammo to take care of them all. And you could just dodge and avoid a lot of it if you really are that good. Here you can't really dodge and avoid some guys later on. And you only have limited of ammo, so you can't just hoard it at the beginning, because you just don't.